No, there's nothing in front of me. There is a very good reason for that. I am finally getting round to building something that I've been desperate to have a go at ever since I bought it. So I'm going to go and get the box, and you will understand why we have started with just a blank white space. We ready for this? Yeah, it's the Lamborghini Sian FKP37. You can tell how long this has been sat in my Lego cupboard. Look at the marking. Look at that. The mess I've made of it. And it's been in and out a couple of times, but I'd no big Technic left to build, so it just sat there. And I know I said I was going to concentrate on my Batman stuff, but no. And what I've just realised, because I was busy stroking the box, having a moment, there's actually a Lamborghini hologram with a serial number on the side. Proves that it's legitimate. So I'm hoping this will be like the Chiron and be all lovely and detailed on the inside. Oh my, I just realised on the back of the box, I'll angle that because I've got my camera too low again, is the build itself. I'm ever hopeful because it's got 4 lots of tape that you have to cut. Lid off. Not as impressive as the Chiron. Cool, but not Chiron levels of cool. So that's what the inside box looks like. So basically it's like the front hood. Or have I done that upside down? Done it upside down, I think. No, I haven't. So let us investigate. So I see these all lift out as individual boxes. They are numbered on the sides, thank goodness. Right, in the bottom of the box under these, got, I'll just show you this. I'll start looking at the box. Bottom, inside of the box, has a little Lamborghini detailing. So I know which way around everything goes. So I'll get the books out and then try and figure out. So that's box. So why do I get the impression that these boxes are going to make no sense? Box 5, box 4. Yeah, so that makes sense. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can only assume these are 1 and 2. Let's move that over here because I'm not going to take all the bags out. It tells you on the side which book is which. So this one is book 1. I'll take it this way so that you can see. Bit of information about Lamborghini. There's actual Sian. That's definite goals, and that's the process and deciding which colour to go with. Those were the options. I would have much preferred that tan colour there instead of the green. Obviously not the orange because that was the Porsche, which sadly I don't have and I came to it too late to get, and not this. That looks more like a tealy turquoise colour, but the Chiron's blue, so I can see why they went with green, but I would have preferred that one. Not white because we've got a Porsche 911. White. More information. That looks more like concept art than an actual photo. Really pushing the information about the vehicle. And there's a shot of the build. I'm fully expecting a lot of the coloration to be wrong. So it takes you through box by box and it tells you which one you need. And then the fun starts. So just out of interest, I flick to the back of this. So box 6 is all the tyres. Yeah, you see, it reckons box 6 is one bag, which is bag 6. So does that mean that everything in box 1 is bag 1? Go on, let's find box 1 and have a look. Box 1 or box 2? That's box 2, because it's got a number 2 printed on it. This is box 1. Oh, going into that, it's box 0. How in the name of all that is holy? I don't want to side here. Yeah, so in box 1, everything is number 1. So yeah, not for the faint-hearted. I'm going to have to do a little bit of sorting out before I can actually build. I'm just hoping there's not too much discrepancy in trim colours. That seems weird, putting mud-guardy bits on this early. I hope you're not going to disappoint me and stick me on the engine build for the price of the kit and how many pieces it is. You really better help stick me on that engine build, or there will be hell to pay. Lego, there will be hell to pay. I will spit my dummy out. So I think what I'll do with this one, and it is going to be a lengthy video, I know now, because as I finish each box, I'll do a little update so you can see clearly more or less where each box takes you to. I'm just looking, there's a little bit here. I haven't seen any stickers, so I'm going to assume that's the pre-print. That's book 2, that can sit there. Oh yeah, that's why they're not sitting level. They haven't got the books underneath them. I'll put that like that. There we go, so I need this one. So I'm going to go away and make a start on this. I'm not pushing it. I've got 4 clear days. I'm just going to do probably box 1 today, box 2 tomorrow, and then the others seem to be slightly smaller, but I'm expecting boxes 1 and 2 to have a lot of the complicated bits and bobs in. Yeah, so we've got a lot of the complicated engine stuff certainly in box 1. I'm guessing that is at the end. Yeah, so I think it's going to be do box 1 and then call it a do, because I'm not a masochist. Yeah, box 2, engine and front suspension. Yeah, we're going to be sensible about this. So I'll come back and do updates at the end of each box so you can see what it's looking like, how it's progressing, and how I feel about it. As you can tell, I'm fangirling ever so slightly. So just to confirm, it's the Lamborghini Sian FKP37, set number 42115, has 3,696 pieces, retails in the UK for £349.99. That gives a price per piece of approximately 9 pence. Obviously, with something like this, where it is so heavily branded, there's obviously an IP purchase goes into it and all the rest of it. So you're paying for the name of Lamborghini more than the pieces, I would say, on a set like this. But yeah, 350 quid, it better be a good one. I have high hopes for it. Apparently it's supposed to be an easier build than the Chiron. So we'll wait and see. We will reserve judgment. So I'll go away and crack on, and I'll be back in a little while. So that's bag one finished, or bags one, box one, if you want to look at it. And basically it's just building the transmission. I think that is. Stand to be corrected. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of various colours in there, so you can find your place on the 2D model. That's what the wheel attachments look like. And everything does seem to turn. These I don't think are connected in any. Oh yeah, they are. So they only jolt backwards and forwards because I don't have a gearing mechanism in place yet. That one is much freer, it moves much further, but that one has a very short track length. I don't know if you can see that on there. In fact, if I turn it upside down, it probably shows better. So you can see that one has quite a long track length. And if we go over this side, see it's much shorter. It just does the one up down movement. But I always like to double check stuff as I'm actually building. What I do like, I don't know if I can angle this. Yeah, I can. So we have these little green bars that just fit in to make your brake pads, which I think is a lovely little detail. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed so far with it. Probably because I haven't started doing the actual replica engine, which is the bit I always love on these. But this little took me 2.5 hours. Admittedly, in that 2.5 hours, there was a couple of times bits had to come off and go back on. I struggled connecting these because the actual pin that you use to connect them is just a ribbed bar. So it's just a ribbed 3-length bar. And they don't fit snugly. So you really need 2 hands to do it. One to hold it in place and one to get the other end in where it's supposed to go. Which I found really difficult throughout all of these. And there's 3 different lots of them. There's 2 here and there's another one buried down here somewhere. If they slotted tight, it'd be a lot easier, but then I think that would affect the way they move, so I'm not really sure. But we're going to go away, get box number 2 out, make a start on that, and see where we go from there. Oh, before we do, I've forgotten about that. I just happened to fiddle with it. So that spins on its own, but you can jiggle it, and it moves just backwards and forwards like that. I got told to stop playing with that yesterday. But I always love fiddling with the bits. That's why I like building Lego Technic. And making sure that everything works properly. Although when you start getting the gearing mechanisms in, it usually goes very wrong. There is a case where I completely went into meltdown. Fortunately, it was before I had this camera, so it's not recorded. Right, I'm going to go away, make a crack on with box 2, and I'll be back in a little while. I'm going to apologise now. This is going to be a long ass video because there's 6 boxes. So there we go, that's bag 2 done. Had some issues with this one, mainly down to me not paying attention. More disconcertingly, I have these 2 pieces left over, and because they're largest pieces, I can't believe that they are spares. I'll put them in my spares bag. Undoubtedly I will find out where they belong. you can see you've got the printed V12 cover there, all printed pieces. Just if I undo that, that just lifts off, and you can see the piston arrangement underneath. Now I'm not sure why, but they don't. I did get a little bit of movement then. So yeah, they are working. I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out why they weren't working, and they are working. So yeah, but you put all that work in, and then you cover it over, which does annoy me a little bit, because bag 2 here took me 3.5 hours in total. Not helped by having to redo several sections. I got this back panel on the wrong way around, but that was a relatively easy fix. I'd missed putting this connecting link in, which was why I was so obsessed with my pistons, and I had to sort of jiggle things about so I could squeeze it in, because it's on a rod that's actually longer than the space because it pushes through. Yeah, not a great look. The suspension at this end is more or less identically built to this one. Not a lot to see from underneath that's changed, because I already built that. It's just looking a lot more car-like. I don't know why that only has the one pin securing it, so it swivels like mad, which is a little bit annoying. So that is bags 1 and 2. That's where that'll get you to. Total of what, 6 hours to get that for. So certainly going to take some while to finish, but now we've got the bulk of the engine block in, we've got the bulk of the steering mechanisms in. The remaining bags are probably going to be that little bit quicker to do. But we'll wait and see. So I'm going to go off, have a brew, and then crack on with bag 3. So there we go. That's box stroke bags 3. So the bits we've done, put the strange, I presume it's going to be like a hood support sort of thing. We've got these both sides, which now no longer move. Why? What have I done? No reason why it should have stopped working. That one still, yeah, they do still work, they're just a bit stiff. So they move up and down. I'm presuming at some point I'm going to be attaching something, because they've got a little knobbly bit for them. Built the seats. Unfortunately, I've already put the canopy in. I don't know how well you can see. Oh yeah, you can just see it there, and better on the passenger side. Got the little pre-printed Lamborghini tile. In fact, there's one on the inside of the steering wheel, which I haven't got a camera I can poke in, so you'll just take my word for it. That little roof section. They're quite a complicated build, actually, the chairs. I thought they would be like the bucket seat pieces, but no, you build the whole thing. That bit, belt, these side pieces, both sides. That was 2 3/4 hours. A lot of it wasn't because it was a lot of pieces or it was particularly difficult. I was just struggling with my spatials on it. I should have looked to see if there was an option for instructions plus or something like that, but I forgot to, so I ended up just struggling along with the books. I have a suspicion, because of the size of the instruction manuals, because I am now in book 2, box stroke bags 3, spans books 1 and 2. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. That's just going to get left on the table and hope that nothing happens to it, because I'm calling it a do, because I've done what, 6.25 hours building today, and on Technic that is more than enough. More than enough. The brain is now starting to suffer. So pack this away, won't put my feet up, and back to it tomorrow. And I managed to get box stroke bag 6 complete, and the majority of it is putting all this rear trim on. So you put the mud guards on, you build and fit the spoiler, build the engine cover, do like the little touch of the Italian flag on there. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm putting this in correctly, but it does just seem to be seated in like that. No clips or anything holding it in place, so I hope that's right. Do a little bit of work on the side, putting these fins on. Don't know how well this is going to show actually, but I now see what people mean about the green being off, because yeah, it doesn't really show that well here, but some of these round pieces have a slightly different shade. There's not much in it, but they're slightly off, slightly more yellow in, to my eyes anyway. It's nice to know under a bright white light actually they don't look as jarring, as bad, but you can see here these cross pieces are a slightly different colour to these moulded pieces, and there you can see the middle one is a slightly different shade to the outer two. I've let lucky there, I've got the slightly oddly coloured one in the middle, but overall, as we would say in Lancashire, it doesn't notice. Won't notice, love. So there we go. So far on that, that's 3.25 hours it took me on bag 4. Unfortunately, that was split over a couple of sessions because I had things that I needed to get done. So I'm going to go away, pack this up now because I'm not doing any more tonight, and I'll get back on with it tomorrow. Well, there we are. That's bag 5 finally added in. So as you can see, we've done the whole of the front end here. You've got your little engine compartment with your little serial numbered plate that says Sian. A little Lamborghini logo there. Also put on all 4 the actual brake shoes, which also have Lamborghini printed up the side, and that's on all the tyres. And I've just knocked one off. Because they literally just clip onto the, see as I've done that, put it this way around. So it's literally just clips onto the green bar and then flips over, and they get held in place when you put the actual tyres on, which is box 6. And we've got the doors fitted. Did wonder why I had that weird collapsible bit that you build, and that is why, because they've got proper gull wing doors with a mechanism. Now the doors themselves, fitting them, yeah, what a faff. So much so I got Shrek to have a look online to see if there was an instructions plus, because could I figure out where they went in? Could I? Because like, but there is no instructions plus yet again. Why they would be really useful, there are none. So yeah, that the bonnet, the hood, depending where you're from, we call that a bonnet in the UK because it's at the front. is actually quite a simple, straightforward build, but all this section here, there's a lot of sitting with the book trying to figure out the angle that you need to have your pieces at, because it changes every step, and we did have a couple of issues where I haven't been paying attention. Fitting the sections here that create the headlamp area, that was, I don't know if it's because I was hungry, because I was doing it before I'd had my lunch. But again, I had issues with that, trying to get the orientation right. But as you can see, got them done. But because you do one side and then straight after it you do the other, it does make it easier to figure out. The second half is a lot quicker, even though you're building it in reverse. You know roughly how it's going to attach and what it should be looking like. So that goes a lot better. So I'll put that back down. I do believe that, like the chiron, I'm going to be making something to go in here. I did get the comment off the other half of, oh, wait till you see the bag. So I know I'm building a bag to go in there. Not too sure about this bit, why it's this great big blank. But then again, that is normal with Technic. You don't normally get the windshield. Not sure why it's such a long open bit. I know that the engine and everything is in the back. It's a supercar. They're traditionally in the back. So that's where we're up to. That's 5 boxes in. Box 6 is just going to be a couple of little finishing touches, making the bag to go in there, putting the tyres on. So that shouldn't take too long. That took 3¼ hours to get everything from box 5 built and fitted. So yeah, definitely quite a lengthy build. But I'll go and finish that off now, and then we'll take a look at the finished beast, and I'll give you my overall opinion. Quick quarter of an hour, and box 6 is completed. So as you can see, done the tyres. They've got the little, I know it's not going to focus, but I'll try. Got a little stud on each one with the Lamborghini logo, the bull. Got the little A-frame plaque. Just move him back a little bit so you can put it on. So you got the little A-frame plaque saying Sian FKP37. And if I lift up the front, tiny little bag. What use it is with open sides, I don't know. I have to say the bag in the chiron is better. I struggle like mad getting the wheels on. I always do. It is the worst bit for me. But obviously they're the large drum style ones. I mean, look at the size of the tyres on that. But they're the gold colour all the way through. I thought it was just a wheel trim in gold and there'd be either a grey or a black drum. But no, they're actually a gold all the way through. I would show you, but I've only just managed to get them on. So there it is. It's finally complete. So I'll do a full review of it, but that just gives you an idea of what it looks like once it's been done. Alright, so overall, let's put that up. Favourite bit, the doors, nameplate, can just about get that in. So, it's the Lamborghini Sian FKP37, pack number 42115, has 3,696 pieces, retails for £349.99 in the UK. Overall, this took me 15½ hours to build. That is slightly approximated because I do tend to round up a little bit or round down a little bit, but that's probably not too far off, in all honesty. Highlights of the build for me, definitely these doors. They gave me a lot of trouble, but just love a gull wing door, and they work so well. Once you've figured out how they fit, which is no mean feat, they do work really well. Unfortunately, the rubber on these tyres is gripping the table quite healthily. Remove this, which does come out. Can I change the gears? There we go, that's running a lot smoother. Now, unfortunately, you covered the engine up, the pistons up, so you can't see, but change the gear again. Just pop that back in. See, that bit does come in and out really easily. If you're wondering what I'm going on about changing the gear, in here you've got this little, there you go, so you've got 1, 2, 3. Which I'm presuming is forward, neutral and reverse, but I haven't really played with it. Or it could just be differential gears. I really don't know. Really don't care. I'm not that interested. I just enjoy that bit of the build, doing the gears and the pistons and everything. Overall look of the beast. Actually rather pleased with how it's turned out. It is nicer than I thought it was going to be. On all the images, it always looks a super bright green, and it isn't. It's more of a yellow acid green, which I actually prefer. It's just a shame, like I can see here on this bumper section, slightly different colours. That printed block in the middle there is a lot brighter than the ones surrounding it, so it does show, and that is a little bit of an annoyance. But when it's just under the normal lighting, because it's got that yellow tinge to it, it doesn't really show up. It's only when I've got the bright white light on it that it really does show. This to me looks a bit odd. I would have liked to have seen something more here rather than just the plain black. It does look a bit odd. Other than that, I like the Italian flag detail, the fact that the Lamborghini decal is present in, obviously, on the tyres, it's on the headrests, it's on the middle of the steering wheel. You've got the same little tile that you have on there in the centre of your steering wheel. The cover for the piston arrangement for your valves is just really cool. You've got the Lamborghini on it, and then you've got all the gold print. I mean, you can't even really see the brake pads once you've got the tyres on. You can just see a little bit of red, but they've got Lamborghini printed on them. So there is some nice detailing. My favourite bit is actually on the back, and when you're building them, you're thinking, what on earth am I doing? But you're building these rear tail lights, and they are so effective. Now, if you were going to put a lighting set in, I could see them being a bit of a problem, because they're actually solid blocks that you're making them with. But without light on, because of the colour contrast, they really stand out to the brake lights. I like that detail on there. I think that is really effective. Overall, yes, it is an expensive set. Right, I haven't got this tyre on properly. Right, have to just do. I never get them on right. Overall, what are we gonna say? It's definitely a piece that is designed to be on display. It's not really designed to play with. I'm just putting the wind mirrors back out. One or two little things that annoy me visually. Can't make my mind up, because I really did enjoy the build, although it caused a lot of swearing and a little bit of shouting trying to put the tyres on. In fact, quite a lot of shouting. Oh, bless it, that bit. Overall, when I compare it to the Chiron, If I'm comparing to the Chiron, it's a 4-star build. If you're on the fence and you don't know which one to get, it is the Chiron all the way. You don't have the little plaque, but overall that is a better model. So I'm going to be, grieves me a little bit because I do like it. I did really enjoy the build, and I've just realised what that is. That's the petrol cap. I did wonder, because there isn't one on the other side. It must be the petrol cap. Yeah, it does grieve me a little bit because I did enjoy it. But if I had to pick between the two, it will definitely be the Chiron. Right, that tyre is really annoying me. That's going to have to come off. It really is. This is what I mean. I'm terrible. But you can see now, because I've had to do that it's gold all the way through. And then you get to laugh at me trying to put bloody tyre on. So I'll put that up. Because the problem is, it moves on the inside. There we go. I did manage to see through it that time. That's better. It's not quite as annoying. Right, if I do that bit of tyre there isn't annoying at all. So I'll do. So yeah, I'm going to say a reluctant 4-star. I desperately wanted to give it more. I really did want to give it a better score than that. But I'm going to have to be brutally honest and give it a 4. God, I mean, pulling all over the place. But yeah, so there he is. Lamborghini Sian. I hope you enjoyed that and that it maybe helped you if you were wondering about what it was like to build, how long it would take. I'm not a super fast builder, not an expert builder by any stretch of the imagination, and I would imagine if I can do it in 15.5 hours, there are probably plenty of people out there that could knock this out in 8. Definitely. But if you're a hobbyist like me, or are new to Technic and you really fancy the challenge of doing one of the big ones, anywhere between 15 and 18 hours, I would say. But yeah, it's worth it. I'm not disappointed, but the Bugatti Chiron is better. I might bring him down and do a little overview of him, just purely because I love him so much and I want an excuse to show him off. So thanks very much for spending some time with me. Have a great day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.